Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice Radio. So today, I'm going to be showing you Shuckle-GX. Now, we knew that there were a couple of GX cards that were going to be coming in Lost Thunder that we didn't know what they were. That no Pokemon had been announced, no card had been shown in a previous set. We were completely oblivious. I don't think many people thought we were getting a Shuckle-GX. Even the ones that thought we were, I bet they did not see this ability coming. There is a lot of potential with this Shuckle. Now it's got 170 HP, which is down there with Tapu Lele. It really is on the lower end of basic GXs, but the ability will help to make up for that. It's got a retreat cost of 1, which is great because post-rotation you can be using Escape Board to get yourself some free retreat, which is nice. It's got a weakness to fire, which honestly is pretty good. Yeah, Ho-Oh-GX is a thing, but you know what? Ho-Oh-GX is going to one-hit KO you anyway, weakness or not. So, as I mentioned in all these fire-weak Pokemon, yes, the two new Victinis could both do a little bit of damage, but outside of that, I think we're doing pretty nice weakness-wise. Now, being a grass Pokemon, not too bad, to be honest with you. You're hitting weakness against Lycanroc, which is nice. You're hitting weakness against Lapras, which is really nice. You can use Ether Paradise Conservation Area, given that you are a basic, to reduce the amount of damage done to you. And let's not forget Life Forest Prism Star is coming out, which gives you an every turn Pokemon Center Lady for a grass Pokemon. Or something like Shaman, which allows you to heal 20 damage from your active grass Pokemon every turn. Gonna be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing alright in terms of grass Pokemon. But it's the ability which we love here. Now, our translation here comes from the lovely Antoine Boulay, which was then retweeted by the equally lovely David Hockman, which means he is approving the translation. And if both Antoine and David are saying this is what it does, this is what it does. The ability says, this Pokemon takes no damage from attacks by your opponent's Pokemon with 2 or less energy attached. You have got to attach free energy to a Pokemon if you're going to do any damage whatsoever to Shuckle. That, ladies and gentlemen, is absolutely ludicrously good. Because there's a lot of Pokemon which don't want to attach more energy. I mean, the classic one here is Zoroark. Zoroark is the best Pokemon in the format at the moment. For a double colorless energy, it does 20 damage for each of your Pokemon in play, 120, 150 with a choice band. That's not enough to KO a Shuckle. Now, to be fair, they can play a Professor Kukui, but even if they're playing it, they're going to have to find it. Even if they get the Professor Kukui, they're not doing any damage to Shuckle because they're using a double colorless energy. Part of the beauty of Zoroark is that it's a single energy attachment. You can use Ace Roller to heal up completely and then attach that double colorless energy to another Pokemon and off you go. You can just get it going in a single turn. If you're playing Lycanroc Zoroark, you attach a fighting energy to Rockruff on turn 1, and then on turn 2 onwards, you pop a double colorless energy onto Zoroark, and then at some point during the game, you pop a second fighting energy on, evolve into Lycanroc, and use Dangerous Rogue. That's how it works. As soon as you need to put a third energy onto Zoroark, everything gets a little bit screwy. How many times have you seen your opponent attach a double colorless energy to a Tapu Lele just to do a little bit of damage? If you attach a double colorless energy to Tapu Lele and your opponent's got 1 energy on and you've got a choice band, that's 90 damage. Just for 1 energy attachment. We've seen people do this with Tapu Lele over and over and over and over again. Well, not to Shuckle, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, fine, they can just attach a third energy, but that's another turn. Think about something like Buzzwole. Fine, Buzzwole can use Knuckle Impact and Buzzwole can use Beast Ring, but it means you've got to get free energy on a Buzzwole. Before they get free energy on a Buzzwole, it does nothing to Shuckle. And you want to know something that's really, really awesome about this? If you're using Shuckle against a Buzzwole, you can force them to put free energy onto a Buzzwole in order to do any damage at all. Then Deoxys gets a one-hit KO because they've got free energy attached. That is what is so beautiful about Shuckle. You can force your opponent to attach more than 2 energy and then take advantage. You could fit this into a deck with something like Tapu Lele or Gardevoir. Any Pokemon that does more damage based on how much energy is attached to your opponent's Pokemon, Shuckle is a great starting Pokemon, because you whack it in the active and go on then, put free energy on, and then the second they do, you can punish them with something like a Gardevoir. Or maybe this can be a wall Pokemon in a hit and run deck. Now, my favourite hit and run deck is the Donphan from Plasma Storm, though that's expanded only, but we've got Tapu Fini nowadays, and there's one of the new Deoxys, the speed form, does that. So actually, we can do hit and run here. You flick to the bench, you put a Shuckle active, and all of a sudden now you're doing damage flicking to the bench. If your opponent doesn't have more than 2 energy, they can't touch Shuckle. It's so much fun. Now, it is a basic GX, which means that Glaceon will turn this ability off, which is ironic because Glaceon's got to have free energy on to attack anyway, but it means our old friend Alolan Muck could be coming out here. Alolan Muck turns off the abilities of basic Pokemon, including this. And I made a video the other day about how great Alolan Muck is and why it should see more play. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is one more reason. Unfortunately, yeah. And then, of course, there's plenty of Pokemon that are using free energy. Gardevoir can just use Secret Spring to get an energy and then attach a double colorless for the turn. They've got free, they can hit you. The Incineroar we looked at the other day, the Darkness one, the great one, I'll link a video in the description. That takes free energy. Duskmane Necrozma takes free energy. That's a little bit of a pain. Then they're going to KO you. There's a lot of Pokemon. Necrozma, played with Malamar, is probably going to have more than free energy on. So this isn't some kind of catch-all against every deck. But it's great against Buzzwole, and it's great against Zoroark, and they are 2 of the best Pokemon in the format. Sure, Rayquaza's going to have an easier time against it. But Lycanroc GX isn't going to be using Dangerous Rogue for 2 energy like you want it to. I could sit here and name Pokemon that use 2 or 3 energy for the rest of the video, or for like another hour. The point is, it's not going to be an impenetrable wall against every deck, but against a lot of decks it will be. And then you can use it as a hit and run Pokemon, and then you can use it to force your opponent to attach more energy and take advantage with something like Gardevoir. It's the kind of Pokemon where if your opponent isn't playing Alolan Muck, in their faces. And just in case the ability isn't good enough here, and it is, we've got 2 attacks, both of which are for a colorless energy, meaning that even though Shuckle is technically a grass Pokemon, it's a basic that can go into any deck whatsoever. 1 colorless energy. The defending Pokemon is now poisoned, put 3 damage counters between turns instead of 1. And then, of course, the usual rules here. So Viper will add an extra damage counter. In Expanded, you can use Burbank City Gym to add an extra 2. So although it's 3 damage between turns, it could be a lot more. This isn't an amazing attack, but think about it in the context of Shuckle. You stop your opponent attacking, and then you poison them, and you put them on a clock, and they take 3 damage counters after your turn, 3 damage counters after theirs, and they're desperately trying to attach extra energy, but you're using stuff like Crushing Hammer and Enhanced Hammer to slow them down. Sure, maybe they're playing something like Malamar or Magnezone, and they're able to accelerate energy, and if they can, good on them. But if they're not accelerating energy and you're using hammers, it will take them a very long time to ever attack Shuckle. And during that time, they are taking a lot of poison damage. This is the one Pokemon I can actually see that you might play Viper, because if you can put, say, 6 damage counters on them between turns, and oh no, what are they going to do? Use a Guzma to take out your Viper. It's not exactly the best plan ever. And then we get the GX attack. It's a cute little GX attack. 1 colorless energy, 40 damage, the defending Pokemon is now paralyzed. Automatic paralysis is wonderful. We saw that back with Pokemon like Excelgor. Honestly, this is rarely going to do enough. Even with a choice band, if you're hitting for weakness, you're only hitting 140 here, which is not particularly amazing. And you're just not doing much damage. Then you add in that everyone's playing Guzma, lots of people are playing Ace Roller, and a skateboard is going to see a lot of play post-rotation, and people are going to have ways to get around this paralysis. It probably isn't going to last forever. But you know what? It's going to last if they don't have one of those options. And I know that's an obvious statement, but my point is, even though it's not the best GX attack ever, sometimes it will work. Sometimes your opponent won't be able to get around it. Sometimes it will buy you that turn. And now let's assume you're using Shuckle's main attack. And they're poisoned. And they're taking 3 damage counters between turns. And then you paralyze them. Well, that's 3 damage counters to turn you poison them. Plus the 40 from the attack. And then they're paralyzed. So they can't attack. And then after their turn, they take another 3 damage counters. And this adds up. It's not a great GX attack. But in the context of a Pokemon that's not going to be able to be hit by a lot of things, and the fact that you may well be poisoning them with treble poison every turn, then this GX attack actually becomes good. On other Pokemon, I would despise this GX attack. On this one, however, oh my goodness, I love it. The fact of the matter is, playing this with hammers is going to be a deck. There's so much potential, it's crazy. Yes, it works as a wall in hit and run decks like Donphan. Yes, it's a fun little tech in decks like Gardevoir to make them attach more energy. But the real beauty of Shuckle is treble poison, they've got to have free energy on to attack, you use a bunch of hammers, and if they're not playing any energy acceleration, they've probably lost. I know it's only been a couple days since we talked about Incineroar, but I think this is a flat-out 5 Wassy card, and I'm not seeing much of a counter-argument here. Sure, some decks will accelerate enough energy that they can run through Shuckle. But are we going to say it's bad because some decks can beat it? Because there are an awful lot of decks out there, like Zoroark and Buzzwole, that are going to really, really struggle against this, and that's hilarious. But I want to hear from you guys. Do you think Shuckle is good? Did you expect a Shuckle-GX? Do you think Shuckle Hammers could be the next great deck? Or do you think this ability is actually slightly overrated and won't be any good? Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, but remember the rule. Be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all of that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do that. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves. Until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.